Today I'm going to talk to you about sentence variety and as using it to improve your writing. So we have conversation versus writing. Conversations tend to be very subject verb, so blah, 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 blah. I have an adorable dog named Mr. Brown. He's a little round dog. Mr. Brown sleeps on the couch most of the day. I throw a ball for him when I get home from school. He is an amazing little dog. This works when you're speaking with someone face to face because you have facial expressions or body language or hand gestures that make the conversation more interesting. You can change the tone of your voice, and that helps as well. However, in writing, you need something to take the place of those hand gestures, that vocal intonation, the facial expressions to make it interesting. So the key is using sentence variety. So some of the ways you can vary your sentence. Well, you can start with an introductory participle phrase. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to start with a verb and then add ed or ing to that verb so that your sentence starts with some action. So for example, here's a sentence that does not start that way. Sam looked down the dark hallway. He tried to imagine what could be hiding there. You can take the same exact sentence and use that introductory participle phrase by taking the word look and adding ing, and now you have looking down the dark hallway. Sam tried to imagine what could be hiding there. We've added just a little bit more of interest into the sentence by just adding a verb at the beginning and then ed or ing. Okay, here's another one. Katie was amazed at the size of the crocodile. She tiptoed away from the edge of the river. All we did here was take a verb, amaze, and add ed to it. And now we have amazed at the size of the crocodile, comma, Katie tiptoed away from the edge of the river. So that introductory participle phrase is taking a verb, starting with the action, adding ed or ing, and a comma to tell the rest of the sentence. Okay? So every time you're going to do that, you make sure you start with the phrase, the verb, add eg or ing to the end of the sentence, and then don't forget to put that comma after the action. How does it help? It puts that action at the beginning of the sentence so you grab the reader's attention, and it's a way of combining two short sentences and making one longer, more interesting sentence. You can start with an appositive. For all those of you who did Katcha last year, you remember the appositive. It's a way to show that you are absolutely positive who or what something is. So you're renaming something so that the reader is sure who or what you're talking about. You can use this effect to combine two shorter sentences into one longer one. So here are some examples of how you can use an appositive. We have Allie, the captain of the volleyball team. She's the best player. So we take those two sentences and we use an appositive. Allie, comma, the captain of the volleyball team. Who's Allie? She's the captain of the volleyball team. Is the school's best player. So we use the appositive, all here in red, added these commas in, and now you know who Allie is, and it just makes your sentence a little bit more interesting. You can start with the infinitive phrase to and then add a verb. So since an infinitive is a verb, then the beginning of your sentence is energetic and full of action. So here's some examples of how to do that. So you have the traditional sentence, Colin would love to go kayaking in Colorado. You put to first, then the verb. To go kayaking in Colorado would be Colin's greatest dream. So to first, and then there's your verb, kayaking, or go kayaking together work for the infinitive to plus the verb to add the action again at the beginning of your sentence. So you can also start with an introductory adverb clause. So when you use adverb clauses, you start with these subordinating conjunctions. Again, if you remember Katcha last year, we have all of these subordinating conjunctions. When, while, until, since, because, after, before, although, even though, as long as soon as though, whenever. What you're going to do with this one is you are going to put them at the beginning. As soon as I finish my homework, comma, I can go outside to play. After I finish my homework, comma, I can go outside and play. Since I have not finished my homework, comma, I couldn't go outside to play. Because I had not finished my homework, comma, I wasn't able to go outside and play. So you take that adverb clause and start it with the sentence that way and then add a comma afterwards. And then that adds some variety to your sentences. Another way you can do it is to add, starting with a compound sentence. So you take two short, choppy sentences, connect them using a coordinating conjunction and a comma. So again, from Katcha last year, you remember fanboys, coordinating conjunctions, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Whenever you're using a fanboy, you have to have a comma. Comma, for, comma, and, comma, nor, comma, but, comma, or, comma, yet, comma, so. So here's how you can do some compound sentences. We have this basic sentence. We went to the movies last night. It was exciting. You take it. and change it. We went to the movies last night, comma, and it was exciting. We went to the movies last night, comma, but it was boring. So comma and comma but. So comma then fanboys. You took two sentences that were short and choppy, put them together to make one longer one. You might want to think about starting with a prepositional phrase. So these are some prepositional phrases you can use: from, to, with, without, of, for, about, over, under, by, in, out, up, and the list goes on. So that would look like this. Here's your traditional sentence. I can see the lake from the tree on the hill. You switch it from the tree on the hill, comma, I can see the lake. So you start with that prepositional phrase and then add a comma. So remember, when you are speaking and writing, they are two very different forms of communication, and so therefore you need to add something to your writing to make it interesting, just like you do when you are talking. So varying your sentence structure is a great way to keep your writing interesting and worth reading.